Pledge of Allegiance, Cindy.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the November 9th, 2017 meeting of the Shawnee County Board of Commissioners. My name is Bob Archer. I currently serve as chair of the commission and represent District 3, alongside Commissioner Shelley Bueller, who represents District 1, and Commissioner Kevin Cook, who represents District 2. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Before we get started, can we agree to pull item B1, dealing with the district attorney's request? There is a need for more information on this item, so if there's not any objection, we'll pull item B1.
No objection.
Thank you.
No objection.
First item, please.
First item is under proclamations, presentations. Number 1, recognition of the Inclusive Communities Award presented by Interhab, Parks and Recreation.
Good morning, Commissioners. Randy Lubbe, Parks and Recreation. A couple weeks ago, Parks and Recreation was honored to receive the Inclusive Communities Award from Interhab at their annual Arts and Awards ceremony. It's an award we cherish. It was nominated, our department was nominated by Sherry Lundry, who is in the audience, with TARC. And I'd like to introduce Chris Gunn, the General Counsel Director of Communications with Interhab, to present the award and talk a little bit about it.
All right. Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Everyone that's here. As Randy said, my name is Christopher Gunn. I'm the General Counsel and Director of Communications for Interhab. We are the State Association for Providers of Services to Kansans with Developmental Disabilities. In 2 years, we'll be celebrating our 50th year of collaboration and advocacy for Kansans with developmental disabilities. The award that Randy mentioned, the Inclusive Communities Award, is one of the many annual awards that we give out to outstanding direct service professionals, outstanding Kansans with developmental disabilities, their families, businesses that find a way to extend value to the lives of Kansans with developmental disabilities and their communities, as well as communities themselves. Just a brief history to give a broader context of why this award is so important. When Interhab was first created in the late 60s, it was a conglomeration of parents and individuals who worked at the various state institutions to find a way to provide better services for persons with developmental disabilities. Over time, the organization has grown as the shift has changed from state institutionalization to receiving supports and services in their communities. And at one point, this our annual conference has been happening since the mid-'70s, and at one point in the early '80s, they determined that they wanted to start recognizing individual communities who were providing some sort of enhanced benefit or opportunity for persons with developmental disabilities to enjoy life, to move as far away from the old institutional mentality as we possibly could. And that's where the Inclusive Communities Award comes about. So, as Randy mentioned, TARC nominated Shawnee County Parks and Rec this year for a number of different opportunities that the Parks and Rec Department provides for persons with developmental disabilities here in Topeka and within Shawnee County. Some of the highlights that we discussed were, the accessible ball diamond, which I believe is in Gage Park, correct? Okay, excellent. I was going to clarify that earlier and forgot. Dance house, which I believe happens in one of the shelter houses. There's a fishing, I don't remember what the name of the actual event is. But
Fishing derby.
Fishing derby. Okay, excellent. And then perhaps the most important event out of the year for TARC specifically is Winter Wonderland, which, Sherry, you might have to remind us how many years Winter Wonderland has been occurring. Sorry.
The 20th.
Since the this is the 20th year, so Again, on behalf of all 41 InterHab members from across the state of Kansas, we want to thank Shawnee County and the Parks and Rec Department for providing these wonderful opportunities for Kansans with developmental disabilities.
Great job. Thank you.
Go ahead and just set it up there.
And so the award itself is quite large, but
Ours was the biggest.
yes, by far. One of the things that we do as an organization, in addition to giving these awards, is we call every year for art to be created by the persons who are being served by our member organizations, and this would be one of those wonderful pieces of art.
That's really nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and I noticed the longer Randy held it, the lower it got. No, that's really nice.
So,
I'd like to also comment, thank you, Chris. I'd like to thank Sherry for nominating this, and for all our partnerships. We couldn't do this, our staff. Stacy Wonder does an excellent job with our programs, but, you know, we have partnership with Capper, we have one with TARC, and again, this is another key part of our master plan was to form partnerships to keep our adaptive recreation and different programs like this going. So I'd like to acknowledge them also. Thank you.
Congratulations. Yeah. Randy, put it right up here.
Yeah.
That's where I was
Yeah.
gonna put it. Then they'll be staring at it instead of Bob.
A welcome distraction.
We done? We're done. Yes.
Sherry, thank you for nominating Parks and
Yes.
Recreation.
Yeah,
That's really
yeah.
nice. Appreciate all you do.
It is appreciated, and it is an award, I think, that's richly deserved by Parks and Rec
Yep.
in Shawnee County. So, again, thank you all. Next item, please.
Item 2, unfinished business. Number 1, consider approval of request to award bid to ACT Global Americas, Inc. for the replacement of the artificial turf on the Jerry Robertson Field located at the Bettis Family Sports Complex at a cost of $200,314 with a 6-day maximum allowance for the alternative 1 daily expense of $3,000 to repair a rock base with funding from the Capital Outlay Fund and authorization and execution of Contract C 384, 2017 for same.
Good morning, Commissioners. Shawn, Osbourne, Parks and Recreation. This item was before you guys last week. We had worked with the Assistant County Counselor to make changes with that $3,000, and I believe in a 6-day max would be put on that. Also was spelled out of a workday being 8 hours in each day. So there is a possibility this could come in under that, or it could be prorated on a half-day basis. I hope that answers the question that you guys had on that, and I'd be happy to try to answer any other questions you might have.
So if I understand correctly, then the total amount, the maximum amount could be $218,314
Yes.
for the contract. Okay, I think that clears it up for me.
I think that was the
Commissioner.
reason why we deferred it, was just to clarify what the 3,000 per day, what maximum amount we're looking at.
Okay. Okay.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Shawn.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
Item 3, consent agenda.
Were there questions on the consent agenda? There were 11 items. Any comments or questions?
I have none.
And then I will move approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve the consent agenda by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item 4, new business. A, County Clerk, number 1, consider all voucher payments.
Commissioners, this morning we have vouchers that total $1,351,871.05. The highlights out of the voucher report, we have Capers contributions of $301,239.58. Department of Corrections of $169,205.51. General expenses, which is primarily the American pre-sort for our mailings, of $135,337.60. Holding accounts with the state of Kansas. Motor vehicle, which is $74,516.77. Public Works of $152,877.76. And finally, the Sheriff's Office with $99,808.98. I do not have any questions. My questions have been answered, and I would move for approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve the voucher report by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
There are no correction orders.
Next item, please.
Item A3, consider approval to authorize a 2018 cereal malt beverage license for the following. A, resolution number 2017-67, Hague Inc., DBA Viking Express at 4700 Northwest Hunters Ridge. And B, resolution 2017-68, Hague Inc., DBA Seaman 66 at 4206 North Topeka Boulevard. And these are two of the, our continuing quest to get all of our cereal malt beverages done before the end of the year. They have both been reviewed by the Counselor's Office. We have gotten the health inspection, the townships were notified, and the KBI, they all, and taxes, et cetera, are paid, so everything was met with approval.
Thank you. I'll move to approve.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Okay, item B has been pulled. C, District Court, number 1, consider approval of request to award bid to SciTech Media Systems, Inc. for purchase and installation of audio-video components in room 410 at a cost of $32,934 with funding from the fiscal year 2018 court administration budget.
Good morning, Charles Hydovitz, District Court. As you know, we're undergoing renovations in room 410, which was the previous Division 3. This purchase is to install audio and video equipment that will give us capability for remote testimony, all AV within the courtroom, and make it 21st century capable and compatible with all of the current technology that's out there. This money comes from our, has been budgeted from our 2017 fiscal budget.
Questions for Mr. Hydovitz? Yes.
This is part of the renovations for that room 410, is that,
These dollars are not part of the construction money,
but it's for that courtroom?
but it is for that suite, yes.
Okay. I'll move to approve the request.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item C2, consider authorization and execution of contract C394-2017 with Distill Networks for annual maintenance of website monitoring protection software at a cost of $6,000 from the funding for fiscal year 2017 court administration budget.
Morning, Charles Hydovitz, District Court. This is our annual renewal for our website monitoring, keeping everybody out that shouldn't be in it. We have always consulted with Shawnee County IT, but because the court's network is separate from them, that's why we can't partner with them for economy of scale. We've been using this particular software for several years with great success, and so we're planning on renewing it.
Questions?
And then I'll move approval of the contract.
Second.
Motion made to approve the contract by Commissioner Bueller, and that was seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chuck. Next item, please.
Item D, emergency management. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C396-2017 and C397-2017 with the Northeast Kansas Homeland Security Council to transfer grant-funded equipment, 15 portable radios and accessories for use by emergency management and the Joint Terrorism Task Force partners with no direct cost to Shawnee County.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dusty Nichols, Emergency Management. Just a little background on this first one. This comes to us through a needs assessment and capabilities assessment through real-world events. and exercises, and we found there was a gap. So this particular communications equipment is going to help enhance the interoperability between Emergency Management, Joint Terrorism Task Force, and other partners.
Move approval of the contract.
Second.
Would you tell us a little bit about the Joint Task Force, Dusty? People would be interested to know.
What I can tell you is that it's a group of law enforcement officials from different agencies that work together to identify, assess, and analyze, and then respond to any terrorist threats that could be in our area or Northeast Kansas primarily. But they work at all levels between federal, state, local. They respond to any of those. If you see something, say something reports,
Right.
those kinds of things.
Excellent.
Sure.
Thank you. Motion made to approve by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item D2, consider authorization and execution of contract C398-2017 with Northeast Kansas Homeland Security Council to transfer grant-funded equipment for Apple iPads for use by emergency management and the incident management team partners with no direct cost to Shawnee County.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dusty Nichols, Emergency Management again. This one is specifically for IMT, or Incident Management Team. It's basically communication and communication hardware upgrades for the accountability system and any other applications that would fit on that particular iPad.
I have one question on the memorandum dated October 31st. It said the equipment is for Apple iPad, 128 gigabyte, and yet on the transfer of property agreement of October 18th, it mentions 3 Apple iPads.
It is 3.
So to correct the record, the memorandum should state 3?
That's correct.
Okay. Can we let the record so reflect? Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
I'll move approval with the correction.
Okay.
Second.
Motion made to approve with correction by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Dusty.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
Item E, Parks and Recreation. Number 1, consider approval of an application for a community change micro grant from America Walks to assist with placement of trailhead maps and trail markers on Shawnee County Parks and Recreation trails with no requirement for matching funds from the county.
Good morning, Mike McLaughlin, Shawnee County Parks and Recreation. Craig Barnes of the Shawnee County Health Department called to our attention this grant opportunity. It's for up to $1,500, and we would like to apply for this grant in the interest of adding additional trail signage. And the Shawnee County Master Plan, trails and natural areas are one of the most desired amenities according to the public, and that same research shows that they would like better trail signage than we have. It talks about how we would serve underserved areas. We would like to use this money especially for Dornwood Park, which has 9.9 miles of nature trails, and yet they're not marked for people who use the park to go in and see those. So I think it's a wonderful opportunity. If we had enough money, we might even add some interpretive signage, because that's a park where we do school field trips, some nature programs. Terry Brandon of our forestry department does. So we'd just like your permission to apply for this grant.
Also move.
And there's
Thank you.
no match
No match.
required. Yeah, I'll second.
And what's the total amount of the grant again?
Up to $1,500.
Up to $1,500. Okay. Motion made to approve application for the grant by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Mike. Next item.
Item E2, consider authorization and execution of contract C399-2017 with Cox Business to provide an internet connection at Helen Hawker Building with a one-time installation and a connection fee of $125 and a $164.99 monthly recurring service charge with funding from the Parks and Recreation budget.
Good morning, Commissioners. Susan Fowler-Hensler, Parks and Recreation. The contract you have before you with Cox Business is like red for Helen Hawker. They have been experiencing problems with their Verizon service and just not able to give good customer service or work efficiently. This contract was previously brought to you in July. We have worked, oh good, Mark's right behind me. We have worked with IT. They have actually talked to Cox Business and negotiated this contract with you, and I won't be able to answer technical questions, so very fortunate that we have our IT department being so helpful and full of experts to work through these contracts. I'm not sure if you have any questions about bringing back a new contract to you?
Questions? Yes, Commissioner Cook.
Briefly, out at Gage Park, do we have other IT connections, either with Blaisdell Pool, with the shelter house, with, or in connection with the city of Topeka with the zoo, as opposed to having an entirely new contract with Cox?
We do have connections out there. Currently, county-managed buildings run through the city of Topeka and come back through the city network, so we have a connection there. Because of Helen Hawker not being a actual county facility, or not being a county employees, we're not able to put them on that network. So we've had to find alternate routes to get that done. That's why we've had to go out and find a separate connection. The previous connection was to be dropped at Helen Hawker. What we've had to do, because there's no Cox connection currently at Helen Hawker, we're actually running through the Friends of the Zoo building and then using that city fiber to connect to Helen Hawker. To actually have Cox put that cable into Helen Hawker, they want $9,000. Since we found that existing fiber, or we had that existing fiber, if we put it at the Friends of the Zoo building and use that, it's no additional install cost, or besides $125.
Well, there you go.
That's why, that was the main change for the contract. After we signed it, they came back and said, well, there's a $9,000 install cost.
Thank you for exploring that and looking into it.
Yes.
Very good. Very good.
I'll move approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve the contract by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioners, and I just wanted to let you know that Vicki Broke was not able to attend today from Topeka Civic, but she expressed her gratitude for this.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sue. Next item, please.
Item F, corrections. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C400-2017 with PCI Mechanical Services for preventative maintenance for heating, ventilating, and air conditioning equipment at a cost of $8,982 with funding from the detention budget.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brian Cole, Shawnee County Department of Corrections. This is just an annual renewal of a contract that we currently have with PCI Mechanical Services. This is the company that we've gone out for bids in the past and that who was awarded these services to help us with our preventative services for all of our forced air and heating and HVAC equipment. The county has spent a great deal of money over the last 5 years for the Department of Corrections when it comes to updating our HVAC systems, and I do believe it's responsible that we continue to have preventative maintenance. PCI has done very well for us. They come in at all times of the night and day for us, or weekends, holidays, when there's something that goes wrong, and trust me, there has been at the jail when it comes to mechanical services at time. But this is a very responsive bid. We've all of our contracts and have gone through the county counselor's office, and we've talked to Betty, and everybody knows about this. So I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
I'll move to approve the contract.
I'll second.
Motion made to approve the contract by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item F2, consider approval of request to award bid to Dorma Door Controls for remodel and installation of new entrance exit doors for the Sally Port at a cost of $87,160 from the Capital Outlay Fund, and consider approval of contract C395-2017 for a 5-year warranty at a cost of $8,716 from the contingency fund.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brian Cole, Shawnee County Department of Corrections. Earlier, or it's either late last year or earlier this year, when the Commission awarded, I want to say, projects for the county departments for capital outlay projects. This was one of them that was identified at the Department of Corrections. These are the main doors at the Shawnee County Department of Corrections that go into the Sally Port. These are original doors that we're asking to replace and to redo. That the county at the jail has not gone without its problems with these doors. At times that they've been down because of this certain type of door that lifts up on a chain and a pulley type system, and it is, electric, but it has gone down, which has created safety concerns, which means officers have had to park out in the street or in the parking lot, escort inmates, sometimes violent inmates or uncooperative inmates, and the current system doesn't allow some of our agencies that we have contracts with to bring their bus into the service or into the facility that resulted in them parking in our front parking lot, and again, armed, walking through the parking lot, which sometimes has been disruptive to the community and the visitors. We did go out for bids for this. We did select Dorma Door. They were the most responsive bid, both in cost and qualifications that we used. We are going to go with a different type of door instead of one that rolls up. These fold in, which we believe will be much more durable. And to give you an idea, we book in roughly 10,000 people a year, so, these doors just up and down is, 10,000 times, and that doesn't count the other people that come through for courts and things like this. So these doors they get a lot of use and a lot of wear and tear. The money was set aside and approved in our capital outlay. We did work closely with Betty Greiner with this and Jim Crow. The other issue that came up was whether we needed a 5-year warranty with this. And at first, I get a little leery of warranties. Sometimes everybody likes to be proud of their equipment and just sell you, do you need this? But we did talk to Bill Kroll. We did talk to our maintenance staff regarding these issues, regarding the wear and tear. And they both felt that this was something that we needed to have because of the numerous times we opened this door. I did meet with Betty, and we did meet with the commissioners individually regarding this. And there was money in the contingency fund for this, and we do believe it was an additional item that we did feel that was needed for this type. So I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
I will point out that the warranty inadvertently was not on the
Yes.
agenda packet, but the clerk does have a copy of that warranty, and I looked at it, and it is pretty standard.
Yes, and I appreciate Jane bringing that to my attention. I thought it was in there. It was not. It took us a couple days to get that, so I deeply apologize to Jane and the commission and the clerk for that delay. But we did get it, and
All right.
thank you very much.
All right. Questions? Commissioner Cook?
I think that this is a good idea to have the warranty on it, given the wear and tear that you're going to have it open and close more than 10,000 times a year with, things that can happen, especially with considering the expenditure of, almost $90,000 for the door itself.
And I do want to add, and I was remiss, and I don't want to be remiss in saying this, that in the front door, they are going to raise the level of the door at least a foot to a foot and a half. That will allow the State Department of Corrections and Immigrations to bring their bus inside the facility, which is going to be tremendous for the safety and security of the community and the staff and those bringing in. So I apologize. I did want to make sure that was mentioned.
That's good.
I'll move approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve the request by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you very much.
Next item, please.
Item G, Commission Number 1, consider approval of Resolution Number 2017-69, allocating the social service, aging, and alcohol drug funding for 2018.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Max Wilson. I'm the Grant Review Chair of the Topeka Shawnee County Alcohol and Drug Abuse Advisory Council. Did that in one breath. And I'd like to introduce two of our Grant Review Committee members who are here, John Homlish and Rochelle Vega-Rutana. Thank you for their service. We're asking for approval of Prevention and Recovery Services Youth Evaluation Program for $7,335. Third Judicial District's Drug Court Program, $14,100. Those funds are to help pay for treatment for drug court recipients. Vallejo Recovery Center Social Detox, it's the only one in town, do a vital service for $28,565 for a total of $50,000.
We have others, though, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
we do have others. Thank you, Max.
Okay.
Any questions for Max?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm G.R. Laughlin with Community Resources Council, and also represent senior programs within the community and social service. So at this time, if I could have anybody who is getting funding, whether they're from ADAC or for the social services senior programs, please stand and note that you're here today to represent. Everybody's busy, there are small staffs, but we wish we'd had all 20 of them here, but thanks, guys, for coming. So, anyway, I won't list off every agency that's asking for funds. Currently, we're asking for social service agencies of $221,931, and the senior programs of $696,000. I want to make sure and point out the executive directors or CEOs of all those agencies are much appreciative of your support. But most importantly, you need to know that the folks of the community of Shawnee County are very thankful to be able to have your support on this particular resolution. It's going to help thousands of people within our community and those in special needs, and we're very appreciative of that. I might also point out that the resolution on my paper shows 68, but on the agenda it shows 69, so I wasn't really sure which one it was. So just thought I'd point that out.
Thank you. I'd appreciate it if you would read the individuals.
I'd be glad to.
I think it's important that the public hears this.
I'd be glad to. All right. Under the social service category, we have Breakthrough House has a residential program that's $16,727. Community Action has two programs. The first one's for Latino Family Development of $29,227. Community Action also has a First Tee of Shawnee County, which is $29,227. Doorstep has emergency assistance for $11,227. Harvesters has a feeding of Shawnee County of $11,227. Housing Credit Council, Inc. has $15,227. Kansas Legal Service has two programs. One is for Social Security Advocacy for $12,000. We have one for Protection Order Advocacy for $14,000. Let's Help has emergency services for $23,158. Positive Connection has two. The first program is Medical Case Management for $8,227. The second for Prevention, Education, and Testing for $20,227. The Topeka Youth Project has two. Jobs for Young Adults for $6,227. The Youth Court for $5,000. And lastly, the YWCA Center for Safety and Empowerment has one for $20,230. Now, as we go to the senior programs, we have the following agencies. Catholic Charities has the Friendly Visitors Program for $10,000. Community Action has the Elderly Services for $34,900. Community Resources Council, we monitor and administrate the SPE, the senior programs for the elderly, and the SCACA administration, and that's $30,000. East Topeka Senior Center has $89,000. Habitat for Humanity Senior Housing and Maintenance Program is $25,000. Jayhawk Area Agency on Aging Administration and Match is $50,000. Kansas Legal Services Jayhawk Legal Services for Seniors of $60,000. Let's Help has Senior Emergency Services for $10,000. LULAC Senior Center Consolidated Senior Center Services for $68,765. Meals on Wheels has two programs, the first being for home-delivered meals of $161,060. Meals on Wheels Friendship and Meals for $75,000. Pappin's Landing Services for the Elderly is $60,000. Rossville Senior Center Services for the Elderly is $9,000. Silver Lake Senior Center for Silver Lake Senior Citizens is $13,275. That for the total of $696,000 for the senior programs.
Very good. Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you. Questions for GR?
I don't have any questions, but I think it's a good idea to just remind everyone how we get to this point. We have our budget discussions in the summertime. We set an amount, but then we really hand that off to CRC. Can you kind of cover, Aging and Social
I'd be
Service.
glad.
And then Max, if you could kind of talk about your process too, just to let the public know.
Sure, it's a lengthy process. It's not just everybody has their wishes, so they come. There's two groups that we have review committees, one for the senior program and one for the social services. For the SCACA, Shawnee County Advocacy Council on Aging, has their own review committee. It's made up of board appointed by you all for that particular one, and they have their own review committee. Each of the different agencies then present at a particular time afterward. The RFP is put out by CRC and/or the senior programs. Once the RFP is put out, then they have so long to get their applications in. CRC provides the applications to whether it's a social service and/or a senior program. They apply, turn it in by a certain date, and then they go to the review committees. And the review committees, it's a long process, and it's not an easy one, because we do a lot of paring down, because we had, I don't know off the top of my head, but for just the senior programs alone, I think we were almost $850,000, $900,000 of asks, and that was pared down considerably. So once each of the review committees then pare it down, and then we go through all the process as you guys have your open meetings, and once the decision of how much is done, then those review meetings or committees get back together again and review that process again. And sometimes in the past, we've been lucky to add to those, and others, most of the time, is we have to cut some more in order to, that's why the $227 one was one that's, it's like kept coming up, but it's mathematically, it was the best way to make that work, so. And then here we are today, and very thankful.
Well, and I'm thankful for CRC for providing all that administrative work, because that's a lot of work.
Yes.
And then our staff, I mean, we contract with you all, that our staff doesn't have to do that work, so appreciate it.
And we're glad to represent those that can't represent themselves. So.
Commissioner?
No, I, again, appreciate all the work that CRC does in getting to this point. Again, we start the process in, the summer, and then here we are in the fall, and it lasts us the whole year through.
Yep, RFPs go out like February, and March,
Yeah.
we start doing the process all over again.
Yeah, it strikes me that as the state and the city are reducing their commitment to social service agencies in our community, that Shawnee County is at least able to maintain what we've been doing in the past, and I'm proud of that. Any other questions or thoughts?
If Max could just talk about their process a little bit, too. Again, it's just a good reminder.
No, yes.
See how my senile memory works. Vic Cook, in one of his many lives, years ago, co-sponsored a bill to provide liquor by the drink excise taxes, a third of which would be going to cities and counties for their general fund, a third to Parks and Rec, and a third to alcohol and drug programs. I believe this was in maybe his second life. He's got 3 or 4 more since then. Anyway, the money from the county was $50,000 this year. It actually was $1,000 more than last year. City funding was $85,000 less. So, Commissioner Archer, you are correct. The county has been a real lifesaver for many of us.
Good.
Appreciate your support, ongoing support in sustaining these funds. We have an alcohol and drug council that's made up of community representatives, providers of services like treatment, intervention, and prevention, a number of community representatives, some from the recovering communities. Out of that group is selected a group of about 5 people that serve on the Grant Review Committee. I'm trying to think of who they are now. John Homlish and Rochelle Vega-Ratana, Dinah Pennington, Judy Donovan, who has moved back to Topeka. She was the prevention guru for the state of Kansas for years, and then she went out to be the last job was her head of prevention for the city of Washington, D.C. So we're really, plus she worked for Substance Abuse Mental Health Services Administration, SAMHSA, while she was in D.C. So she's really an expert in prevention and treatment. We're really delighted to have her serving on our committee. Am I missing anyone? Feels like I am. Okay. Any questions?
Questions?
Thank you.
Again, thank you,
You
Max.
bet. You bet.
Thank you, GR. I'll move to adopt the resolution.
Second.
Motion made to adopt the resolution by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0. Again, thank you. Next item, please.
Item 5, Administrative Communications.
Morning, Commissioners. Dusty Nichols again, Emergency Management. I just want to remind everybody this Saturday is the Salute the Heroes Festival downtown for Veterans Day. There's a lot of events, but the main one I'm working with the committee on is the parade. And pretty excited about this. Starts at 11. It's a short kind of parade route, but we're hoping for a lot of people to come out in their red, white, and blue to support our veterans. But there's pancake feed, food trucks. It's a festival going on all day. So I encourage everybody to come out this weekend and support our veterans.
Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. Larry Moss, Shawnee County Treasurer. It's November, and it's that time of year, tax statements. Because of the St. Francis sale, we're going to be about a week later than what we had anticipated on getting those tax statements out, but they'll be out before Thanksgiving. We like to target the 15th of November. I don't know that we're going to make that. We're going to try. But because of that last-minute sale of St. Francis, we were delayed a little bit. So I will give you a better date, hopefully next week. But certainly by Thanksgiving, you'll have your tax statements, the Christmas card from the Treasurer's office. Thank you.
Bah humbug. Just kidding, Larry. Anyone else for administrative communications this morning? Commissioner Bueller.
There is a lot going on this weekend. I know in Rossville, they're having a dedication of a Andrick Park, a brick walkway honoring veterans, and so that's taking place on Saturday as well. So I'll be there for that. Just wanted to say, or express my appreciation for all of those who ran for public office. It's always kind of tough to put yourself out there, but I so appreciate people doing that. But I also want to say congratulations to all those who won. So very excited.
Good. Thank you. Commissioner Cook.
Just as a reminder, they've not officially won yet.
Well, we canvass on Thursday, that's right, yeah, and then it becomes official.
So,
Correct.
reminder, next Thursday, there's no commission meeting with the elections canvassing.
Very good. Anything else?
No, thank you.
Yes, please pause and celebrate Veterans Day tomorrow. Next item, please.
Item 6, Executive Session.
There's not a need for an executive session today, so we're officially adjourned. Thank you all for coming today.